Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Sina Cup. This is our second season, and this is LGD versus IG, game one of a best of three. So we're just waiting on one of the spectators to load in right now. Hopefully they will make it. I'm not actually sure who it is, so hopefully they'll make it before the end of this. Otherwise, we're going to be jumping back out, and then we're going to have another attempt. Is Winter here? I guess I should confirm that I'm here.
Yeah,
So
I'm here.
have you loaded in as well?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
They just restarted, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Somebody must be having a problem. Okay. Oh, are you? Okay, there you are. Did you reopen Dota or?
Oh,
Never mind. It was Winter all along. But anyway, guys, welcome back. It's IG versus LGD.int. Best of three. Winner is going to advance to play against LGD China,
turn to
who were the winners of our previous best of three. I'm basically here providing coverage on behalf of BTS, and joining me, of course, is Winter.
yep.
Okay.
I'm here to back you up.
Nice. let's do this. So looks like LGD.int. First thing to talk
10
about, they do have
remaining.
CTY playing in place of PyCat. I
5
think they had
seconds
Miracle
remaining.
standing in the other day as well. So I think people were expecting a
Reserve
stand-in. They
time.
weren't 100% sure who it was going to be, however. But looking forward to seeing CTY again. So yeah, I think we'll just clear that up, get that out of the way, and let's get ourselves underway with the draft.
Yeah, Pycat is doing his. I heard he is doing his
IG's
visa
turn
in
to
America
ban.
or something like that. He has visa problems.
Yeah, I heard some rumors about that it was visa related as well. So he probably has to leave, sort it out, and then he'll be able to come back in. It could just be time to
10
renew
seconds
visas,
remaining.
things like that. We won't speculate on it too much, but yeah, the reality is that we are going to
5
have
seconds
have a
remaining.
stand-in. So IG just banning out the Crystal Maiden to start things off. Don't want Misery to get his hands on that
Reserve
one.
time.
Meanwhile, LGD.int are just going to get rid of the Visage. So it looks like a couple of our more standard bans are going to make it through this time. Also looks like LGD.int maybe got a bit of a time penalty for getting here a little bit late. So the admins are being strict about this.
Yeah, the G League
LGD
admins are always very
International's
strict. The
turn
last
to
time I
ban.
played as well, they
IG's turn to
they
pick.
would not even care if you are late for like 30 seconds or 1 minute. They'll still give you a penalty.
Yeah, I think it's I honestly don't mind it. It's nice to see a little bit of punctuality, especially, you cast games in
LGD
SEA, and when the game
International's turn to
supposedly starts at 6 p.m., you just know it's going to start at quarter past or
7
even-
p.m.
yeah, or even later. Yeah, of course. So nice to see things trucking along.
IG's
And
turn
well, we've
to
got Elder
pick.
Titan and Venomancer banned out, but that's going to leave all of these three heroes through into the pool. So the Alchemist, the Clockwork, and the Timber Saw have been grabbed. And IG actually prioritizing the Timber Saw over both Alch and Clock. So we've got a bunch of melee heroes already just in the thick of things, and we'll see where this goes. I guess it is double strength heroes,
IG's
double melee
turn to
strength
ban.
against the Timber Saw. So
Not a very good idea.
yeah, not the best idea.
They have to be able to do some they have to be able to have some part of a plan or something that we don't know, like picking Alchemist and Clockwork against
10
Timbersaw.
seconds
We gotta have a
remaining.
plan against that.
Yeah, and I mean LGD have been doing some
5
interesting
seconds
stuff recently.
remaining.
I wouldn't say that the Alchemist and Clockwork are absolutely terrible against the Timber Saw. If he gets cogged in by
Reserve
himself,
time.
then he can't actually Timber Chain out of the Battery Assault. You've got some Acid Sprays, I guess, help take away a little bit of that armor. But yeah, you always have to come back to the problem of your melee, your strength, and that's pretty much Timber Saw's ideal
LGD
target. You're going to lose
International's
50% of
turn
your
to ban.
15% of your
IG's
strength,
turn
and
to
it's
ban.
not very fun. So IG just going to go for a nice all-rounder here in the Rubik. He can throw Clockwork out of his cogs. I think just a very, very safe support pickup overall. And, well, the support pool hasn't been thinned out too much, though we did see a lot of the early bans focus that way. But I guess both teams should have one
International's turn
support
to ban.
so far. Probably not going to be seeing the mid or farming Alchemist.
Yeah, I agree as well. Alchemist have been like more to transition to a position for support already. He hasn't been played much as a solo mid or a
10
carry,
seconds
but we've seen it in
remaining.
the last game. LGD China ran it as an offlane. Could still be an option, but
5 seconds
running him as a
remaining.
solo mid and carry, especially the carry role, he's been like gone totally from the carry role.
Yeah, I believe we saw
IG's
during
turn to
MLG, I
pick.
think EG ran Alchemist carry once. They've got this Alchemist Magnus strat that they sometimes run, and I think we also saw
Alliance.
one other team. Yeah, it might have been Alliance running the carry Alchemist in
But
one game.
the teams have been winning like at MLG and the recent games. Most of them are not picking Alchemist as a carry already.
Yeah, it's not
Mainly
a
as a
trendy
support.
thing at all. Yeah, the trendy thing is definitely the
10
Alchemist support
seconds remaining.
at the moment.
Greedy support.
Yeah, definitely. So
5
we've
seconds
got a
remaining.
Lifestealer and an OD banned out by LGD.int. They've picked up a Lich, and then IG just
Reserve
getting rid
time.
of a Gyrocopter and a Clinks. So
Lich for melee heroes armor. That's the plan maybe.
yeah,
Doombringer next. You devour ogre. Have 2 ice armors.
yeah. Then somebody buys the Vlads and away you go, right? How can they kill you?
Somebody buys another assault as well, so you have like 40 armor on every hero.
Sounds like a plan. I guess the one thing we haven't been seeing the Lich so much recently. I would say that LGD.int are one of the few teams that are really sticking to the pickup. But I think the one problem that we have seen with the Lich is that he suffers a lot to these aggressive pushing strategies that some teams have been running. It's the Pugna. Some teams are still doing Chen stuff. And it's not that uncommon to even see something like just a DK and then a Pugna safe lane, and that's pretty much all the push that you need. And just having a little bit of early game push makes the Lich, I would say, quite a bit weaker. And especially when you talk about heroes like Chen, you have so many more units in a team fight that the Chain Frost all of a sudden feels really irrelevant. But we'll see what IG go for here.
Lich is extremely good if the enemy team is not doing anything like a Chen or roaming
10
supports early on.
seconds
So
remaining.
if your Lich is given the opportunity to just sit in a lane, Dark
5
Reacher Nova,
seconds
Dark Reacher
remaining.
Nova, you can basically win the lane so hard that the enemy solo, if it's a
Reserve
dual lane
time.
middle with a Lich against an enemy solo, the enemy solo can become irrelevant in the game for the next 10 minutes because he's so underfarmed.
Yeah, and LGD keeping things
IG's
dynamic.
turn
They go
to
for a
pick.
fairly static support in the Lich, but go back and pick up the Mirana. So, looking like this is going to be your one position Mirana, I guess. I'm expecting Clockwork offlane, Alchemist likely the support, and then we're still looking for CTY's mid hero, I would guess.
Yeah, I would say it's most likely the plan of LGD International to run the Alchemist support, and they can
10 seconds
potentially stun
remaining.
out someone for 9 seconds with
LGD
concoction and the arrow.
International's turn
I've
to ban.
I've been a past victim of those 2 stuns. It's not very pleasant.
Yeah, you just take your hands off the keyboard, right? And you're just like, well, it's over. I'll see you guys in 30 seconds when I respawn.
Game was good.
game was nice.
10
But
seconds
IG
remaining.
they're gonna go back and pick up the Vipers. So
5 seconds remaining.
I don't think we're gonna be seeing a one position Viper. So is this
I like
just
the
mid?
Viper.
Reserve
I like the
time.
Viper in this situation because they have a lot of spell damage, and having the skin, the corrosive skin, is really helpful. Plus, the Viper is going to be a really annoyance towards the Alchemist and the Clockwork, all those melee heroes.
Definitely. So is IG just picking this up for mid, do you think? Are they just comfortable with the Viper
10
against
seconds
anybody, or
remaining.
I think they have been using Viper as a safe lane carry most of the
IG's
time.
turn
Rushing
to
a
ban.
mecha as his first item. They don't even get anything else. They just get a mecha straight up and join team fights really early. Sometimes I've seen them run the Viper. Level 7 has 4 points in corrosive skin and 1
10
point in
seconds
each other's skill,
remaining.
just because they want him to be as tanky as possible.
5
Okay.
seconds
So-
remaining.
I honestly haven't seen that recently, but it sounds good. Sounds
Reserve
pretty
time.
5-man oriented, and
You are very difficult to take down when you have so many points in your skin and you have
Yeah.
an early mech.
I think overall as well, just as a tactic, and talking about LGD.int as a lineup, they are
10
one of the
seconds
greedier
remaining.
teams. If Black spots an opportunity to get, he will buy a Midas.
5
The
seconds
supports have
remaining.
done it before. They sort of started the whole Midas
LGD
gaming craze.
International's turn to
in
Do you
pick.
season
blame them
9.
for that?
I blame that one game, that one game where they bought 4 Midas, and Misery had an amazing time on Crystal Maiden, and yeah, I don't know. I think they kind of kickstarted it, and then we had the craze, and now we're back to more reasonable.
I'm
more
actually
reasonable levels.
thinking that every time I feel when
10
LGD
seconds
International comes to
remaining.
my mind, the first thing that I that comes to
5
my thought
seconds
is
remaining.
GPM carry black and GPM support misery.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, and LGD.int are going to
IG's
finish things up with a
turn to
lone
pick.
druid here.
Frost armor on the bear. That's very, very, very scary.
Yeah, it's
I speak for the tree.
pretty scary. IG are just going to wrap things up with the Prophet, so it looks like we are going to have that one position farming Viper. I guess Timbersaw perhaps heading towards mid, and then looks like Nature's Prophet is going to be your off lane. So we've talked a little bit about the lone druid, Winter, and how he sort of, at the moment to me, he feels really one-dimensional. He has one viable build, really, which is pretty much Midas into
Right.
Radiance.
Yeah.
So, and that just takes, if you start having a bad game, that can take such a long time to farm up. And if you don't start immediately winning the game as soon as you finish it, then I feel like you're in really big trouble. So, do you agree with me, or is there some element to this lone druid that I'm not seeing? Because I'm not necessarily sold. I haven't seen it be super successful
10
recently.
seconds remaining.
To me, when I see LGD Gaming International pick something like
5
this, it's
seconds
more
remaining.
of being really. They want to be very greedy and safe during the mid and late game. If you get punished, like IG has a lineup that's perfect to punish something like this. They have all of their heroes are very
Prepare
not very
for
farm
battle.
dependent. They can do a lot of stuff without much items. Viper, he's just gonna get a mech. He's not even gonna get a Midas. He's just gonna get a mech and fight. And if your heroes are going to get Midas on your alchemy support and you're gonna get a Midas on your lone druid, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble against that.
Yeah, so IG, and like you said, it's just a couple of items. It's a mech on the Viper, maybe some arcane boots on the Timbersaw. Prophet still has the opportunity to maybe go, Midas into a Necrobook later on. But anyway, before we talk too much about overall strategy, we should probably introduce the teams. So over on IG, we've got How. On the Viper, Faith is going to be your Rubik, Ferrari 430 heading towards mid as the Timbersaw, Banana is going to be your Leshrac, and YYF is on the Prophet.
And for LGD International,
30
we have
seconds to
Misery, the
battle.
captain, and the person who introduced Midas on support, playing the Lich, and he started with the boots. Black will be on the Lone Druid. CTY, the stand-in, would be playing the Solo Mid Clock. X Freedom would be playing the Alchemist support, and we have Brax on the safe lane, Mirana.
So IG kind of gearing up for an aggressive tri-lane here. LGD lane's looking alright. Looks like they are planning to have Misery sitting up
The
top lane to
battle
start things off.
begins.
So sort of an off-lane lone druid, but I think he's going to be a little bit happier with the situation, finding a 1v1 or a 2v1 against YYF. So we'll see how long this tri-lane sticks together for IG on bot. If they can pick up a couple of kills, they might also be able to push down the tower. They'll have a Bassi, they might have 2 points up in Edict. But if LGD just evade them fairly well, then we might see them look for other targets. We'll have to see. They are a very good roaming duo in the Rubik and Leshrac.
Yeah, I like the way LGD plays their lanes as well. Like they left the Lone Druid at top with the Lich. The Lich can just keep making sure the off lane is the safe lane for Black, so he can farm up his GPM at top. And bottom lane Mirana is not an easy target for the Rubik and Leshrac to get.
Yeah, and Freedom actually just picking up the first point in the acid spray here. So just going for the zoning. The supports haven't really showed up bottom lane just yet. Banana and Faith are actually going to be swinging over to mid, but Brax is already pinging this out. He's like, CTY, watch out. We haven't seen these supports at all so far.
The Courier might be in trouble.
The Courier, where is it? Comes in for the delivery. Might be spotted here as it walks
Oh
up.
no, I think the left
Oh,
side's
Banana,
gonna
is he going to get it? Does he have enough auto attack damage?
He needs one more hit.
Yeah, he needs 2 hits. Oh, it's too fast. They're bringing in the Prophet as well.
Radiant's
YYF.
courier has been
Oh, he got the
killed.
Courier!
Nicely done. Well, there wasn't much that he could do top lane. Banana's now tangoing through the trees. Arrow comes in. Banana able to juke off to the side.
He's gonna
Brax.
pay.
Yeah,
He's
looks
gonna
like they are
pay.
going to pay with their lives here. YYF also trying to escape. CTY turns around. They lift him up into the air. Who's going to get the first blood? They manage to drop the stun and pick him up. Now Misery turning tail and running as well. Considers going for the sacrifice. Decides better if it runs a little bit further away. And looks like IG are actually going to get everybody out. Arrow flies in right on top of Ferrari, but he's not in tower range. He's actually still okay for the moment. They don't have a blast. And looks like he is just going to be able to run over to the hill and be absolutely fine. YYF copping some harassment. He wants Misery, though. He's going to get it. Rocket Flare flies in. He will end up trading his own life for this, but
You make a fine crater.
I think
that's
it
a
was
lot of
okay
action
be-
mid lane.
Yeah, it was okay because he had to TP, like he didn't have to TP back home. Now he can just TP right out and he got a kill. But when I said that IG was gonna pay after getting the career, I was wrong. They brought in so many heroes for that. Like I think only the Viper, only the Viper wasn't there. 4 heroes was there.
Yeah, it was like LGD decided, okay, we can just bring we can bring as many heroes as we can bring 3 and it'll be all right. And then IG just brought 4 instead, and
Yeah,
well,
Gods would agree to that, like getting the career. He's always the career person. You get the career, you win the early game.
look, it's almost worth as much as a tower. So I'm with Gods on this one.
Yeah, the career that early on, like it would have been even worse if the bottle was inside.
Yeah, we even used to see some teams like smoke a single support over to the hill and try and snipe the bottle before it arrived, but a little bit more difficult
CTY.
now.
CTY, oh
he's
no,
playing
so-
up
so
so
complicated.
far, and the supports are well on their way to punish him. And I think he suspected something's going on as Ferrari doesn't go back to the wave. They've got the Edict, they've got the right-click damage. He's going to try and bottle up a little bit, and Misery might be able to pick up a kill on Faith in return. Meanwhile, Viper is going to end up dropping on bottom lane, so falling victim to those double stuns that you mentioned earlier. But still, I think things going all right for IG, though LGD do punish the fact that Viper's not being backed up at all.
Yeah, they have a problem, I feel like, because the Viper needs to get the mech early, and because of this sort of start he has, they have to adjust. They might have to adjust their plan, like maybe get the Prophet to buy the mech instead of the Viper, because Viper is not going to get his mech relatively early. He's having a tough time.
My pet.
Yeah, How's not doing all that well at the moment. Black doing very well in terms of overall farm, but he's kind of been helped out a little bit by the Lich from time to time, and it's already a really good 1v1 against the Prophet to start things off. So, do you feel that IG are really worried if this starts to drag on and starts to go late? Like at the
I
current
think
pace?
they have a decent comeback plan later. Like the Prophet could always be their damage dealer, and Timbersaw is also really strong late game. Like you have a lot of items, you deal a lot of damage, but I would always still favor LGD later on. Like they have Alchemist.
Freedom,
and
what are you
Moonfruit.
doing here? Gets the stun out onto Banana. Meanwhile, a little bit further down, Brax is being jumped. He's already used the leap. One more right click's gonna finish him off. He does manage to connect the arrow onto Faith, but hardly any stun.
Oh,
Freedom is
Freedom
still
is in
just
cover.
hanging around here. He juked into
comes
the
the
trees a
Prophet
little bit
too.
earlier, but there's the stun. YYF, threatening as well, but will not end up TPing down. So 2 kills for How. Freedom was actually over here in the trees, looking to set up a gank on the Viper, but the IG supports were actually there on the lane and end up turning things around. So I think back on track for How now with those 2 kills.
Yeah, here comes the arrow. Don't think they can get this kill.
They've got the Frost Blast as well. Faith is coming in. Brax still has his leap. The creep is going to actually end up blocking him a little bit there. So all Faith ends up eating is all he gets is a couple of tower shots, and will back off. But
Mid lane, Ferrari is
CTY.
he's going on CTY.
Ferrari gets burned twice, loses the last little bit of his mana, still has a Whirling
Radiant's
Death from the
middle
bottle
tower
sip,
is under
and
attack.
will be able to pick up that kill. I almost thought that he wasn't going to get that after bouncing off the cogs
Yeah.
twice, but
He messed up a little, but he still had the mana for. He just needed one Whirling Death. The Whirling Death did so much damage to him. Like if you look at the lane situation now, so IG is gonna be winning both the mid lane and the off lane. So they'll be relying on Black to do a lot of heavy carrying later on.
yeah, and we'll see what Black is going to be up to. It's still looking like it's just going to be a Midas from him.
There's nothing else he's gonna get. Like, it's
Well, I
very
mean,
obvious.
I don't think there is an early game build really for the lone druid
Black.
anymore. I mean, some people used to go
Radiant's
phase
bottom
Maelstrom,
tower is under
but
attack.
Banana
CTY.
gets hookshot on bottom lane, but CTY just going to be thrown back. Faith right there for his teammates. So that's the first hookshot used. It's a fairly long cooldown at level 1, and CTY not even getting the freebie
Yes.
out of that one.
Here's the Midas. Oh, Black. Yeah, that was like the Rubik was at the right place. Like the supports were always together. So as long as the Rubik is nearby, there's no way the Clockwork's gonna get that kill.
And a very similarly timed Midas for YYF as well. He's just picked up his. So the
Wow,
Prophet's
that's really quick.
Yeah, the Prophet's doing pretty well. They did get the courier. He was there for a couple of assists under the tower as well. But he's also got reasonable CS given the situation. Though some of that might be from the jungle.
It's still okay, but a lot of huge chunk of the gold came from the career snipe.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I'm not really sure who got the first blood. It might be him. Like, so he would have gotten a lot out from that.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't actually remember who drew that first blood. It was on CTY, I think. But yeah, I
Yeah, it
don't
was
remember who got
CTY
it.
was the first one dying.
Yeah. So right now we've just got Faith looking to do a little bit of dewarding here, if he can. Looks like this center ward, well, this observer ward is actually placed just a little bit later. So it's just waiting until it's guaranteed safety to go and get rid of this thing.
This is very good for IG now. They have rotated the Prophet into the jungle, so they are the ones getting more EXP. They have left the Rubik on the offlane. Like LGD could have done the same thing with the bear, like send Black into the jungle, and one of the supports take the offlane.
Yeah, and so they've also sent How Mid to 1v1 against CTY and just completely zone him out of the lane. I mean, melee hero against the Viper, you're not in for a very good time, no matter what kind of build he has.
IG is in cruise control of the early game, winning all the lanes mostly, except for Black's lane, and having farm on most of their heroes.
Yeah. So the big, I would say, benchmark for them now becomes, can they break these tier 1s?
Yeah.
And it depends.
They're still-
LGD
they're
needs
still-
to choose the fights properly.
They're still getting a mech on the Viper. I thought they would have like transitioned someone else to get the mech, but he's still getting it. He actually is already halfway there. He has a buckler and a headdress. Needs another 400 gold. They're going to rotate over and maybe find Black here.
Yeah, Black playing pretty defensively. He is sitting inside his ultimate. There might be some TP support coming in, but they've got plenty of burst damage. The Moonlight Shadow pops. Are they carrying
sentries?
detection? Looks like they
yes,
don't
they
need it. Ferrari's going to finish him off with the Timber
They have
Chain.
one. Yeah, they already placed one, so it wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
There was no way he was going to escape.
Nice pickoff, heading towards this tier 1.
Radiant's top
LGD
tower is under
consider moving towards top lane, but looks like the call has just been made to back off and go and farm. Brax has a dangerous amount of gold. He has
Radiant's top tower has
1,500
fallen.
gold right now.
Enough for a Midas recipe.
This is enough for a Midas recipe, but I'm kind of hoping that he just heads towards maybe FaZe and FaZe and Aquila, something like that.
I actually personally tested the build out. Like, it's not really good for Mirana to get Midas at first item. You should probably get some items first, like a face and a drums or Aquila and your
Radiant
magic wand.
structures are fortified.
Yeah, I mean, LGD.int, they come in, they throw down a rocket flare, they throw down their acid spray, ready to defend, but IG suspect that something is happening and they're just going to move back as a unit, not risking anybody to the clockwork pickoff. So LGD.int actually end up bringing everybody to that tower. IG gets some damage down and back off pretty
Yeah.
safely, and they immediately send YYF to bot lane to split push and grab a little bit of extra farm. So out of the overall trade, call it a win for IG just because LGD.int couldn't really initiate into them there.
Yeah, and LGD is really struggling to deal with the Prophet moving around the map. They don't really have anyone to push out lanes quickly
Radiant's
apart from
bottom
Black.
tower is under
So they're going to
attack.
be having a lot of trouble dealing with his split push later on, once YYF gets more items.
And LGD.int just continuing to stay grouped up after
Dire's
this top tower.
is under attack.
Black is farming out here, but this is dangerous farming territory for him
There
at
goes
this
the
point.
Midas.
Radiant's bottom
so
tower
LGD.int
is
are-
under attack.
Are playing this for the long game, I guess.
Yeah, they have to.
No choice. I mean, you've got
Dire's middle
14,
tower
well,
is under
16 minutes
attack.
now where the Midas is
Radiant's
gonna be trying
bottom
to
YYF
take
went,
itself
tower
off.
is
YYF
under
went for a
attack.
4-star. This is very good against
Dire's
the clockwork. Just get the
structures are
4-star so you can
fortified.
kill. He can't solo pick you off.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And that means that they have to have somebody else off map while you're split pushing, and that means that there's extra investment from LGD just to deal with the Prophet. So
The five men can come soon because the Viper already has his mech and power trades up. They would probably look to fight as soon as possible. Once you get your mech, you don't want to waste the early investment. Mecha diminishes, his strength diminishes as the game goes longer.
yeah, and the same is kind of true for, I guess, just the Viper in general as well. In the early game, when he's tanky enough to survive some burst, then he's great.
Radiant's top
Dishes out a lot
tower
of
is under
damage,
attack.
but a lot of that damage is also tied up in spells and Nether Toxin. While it is good and scales fairly well, it's still relatively early to mid game. So, like you predicted, IG mechs up. Tier 1 tower bottom lane has basically
here
no
comes
hit points
Ferrari.
left. So that's that
He
down
can-
on the
he
back
can maybe kill
lines.
Alchemy.
Radiant's bottom
Ferrari
tower
gets
is
entangled.
fallen.
Freedom is going to be able to lob this
Dire's
stun.
middle tower is under
So,
attack.
Ferrari wishing that it was nighttime just a second earlier there. Might have been able to Might have
He
been
could
able
have
to
killed.
avoid that.
Yeah, he could have killed Freedom if Freedom didn't manage to lock his stun. He
Dire's
didn't even have
middle
boots.
tower
He was
has
like
fallen.
constantly slowed by the Viper poison because he had his acid on the tower and the Viper was standing there.
Oh man, and it's happening again. I've had this same frustration with Axe. You battle hunger the Viper and you eat corrosive skin for the entire duration. It's one of the
Yeah.
most frustrating things in the world. But
Radiant's
LGD.int
bottom tower is under attack.
trying to defend bot. There's an arrow flying in. Ferrari's gonna eat that full in the face. Can they use this to initiate it all? They're getting the TPs down. CTY on his way. Is the mech there? The
comes the
chain
Treants.
frost bounce in. But the Treants are just going to eat all of that up. CTY gets bounced
the
straight
first
out of the
half.
cogs. Nice force staff from YYF. They are going to eat a two-man stun, but they turn around at the CTY. They burst him down. Misery walks in. Eats the Prophet ultimate. He's gone down as well. Brax trying to escape, but all he has left is a leap and a little bit of Moonlight Shadow. Actually turns around to use the Midas. But Ferrari managing to
he
track
couldn't
him down.
pay for
Is
that.
this going to be his death? No, looks like Brax not going to end up paying for his greed, but came awfully close.
Radiant's
Greed does
middle
not.
tower is under
Greed
attack.
at that situation was like
That was so
like-
risky. That was...
That was like so the worst situation to try and use your Midas.
Anyway,
Well,
so...
I've seen worse though.
So IG, they've grabbed 2 more towers. They're leading by 5k gold, 1.5k experience. They're just going wherever they want to right now, like they own the map, which they pretty much do. Their gold advantage is even more significant than the graph would
Radiant's
say.
middle
I mean,
tower
just
is
because
under
a lot of
attack.
that is locked up in 2 hands of Midas, which aren't really doing a whole lot for LGD. And Ferrari's going to eat another arrow middle lane.
They don't have chain
He's the
frost for
target.
this.
Freedom comes in, gets the stun out. Faith steals the rank 4 arrow. They burst down the Alchemist, no problem. Brax just evades. CTY jumps in on top of 2. Can they kill off How? Can they kill off the Timbersaw? How's still alive. Timbersaw's managed to jump up onto the
Arrow
high
again.
ground. Black joins this fight. They lift him up into the air, but did they actually have the damage? Stun lands. There's the Sprout. They're going to keep on trying for this. The Treants are blocking him in as well, but it looks like the Bear might
the
be able to
Rubik-
bring down
the
Faith.
Rubik
He
had
gets the
arrow.
entangle.
Rubik arrowed Black. Like without the arrow, they wouldn't have gotten a kill. I think.
Yeah, nicely played by Fate. They do end up losing How and Ferrari at the end of the day. No buybacks used either, so fairly even exchange. But that was LGD.int putting everything that they had into that fight, bar the Chain Frost, which, as you mentioned, was on cooldown
I
as
felt
that
like the
started.
last fight, when they had chain force at the bottom lane, Black didn't TP in that fight. That fight would have been much more worth it to TP. The middle fight, they didn't have chain force, but Black TP in to fight there. That was like a bit, like, for me, a weird decision as a carry, because the first fight, your team had all your spells. And if you want to join a fight, you join that fight instead of joining a fight where one of your supports doesn't have his ultimate up.
Yeah. Did they? I mean, do you think that they thought that they could stall the bottom tier 2 and maybe have Black
here comes
push a little bit?
CTY.
Hookshot comes
Arrow.
in the arrow. YYF gets
Frost.
bounced back by the Cogs. Chain Frost. Nice split, but YYF's already dead. As his Faith buyback from the Nature's Prophet. He wants to fight this, but Black also joining this fight gets the first hit entangle on How. It's 2 for 1 so far with a buyback. Ferrari on the back lines look towards Misery. The Moonlight Shadow is going to be popped off. Ferrari finds another kill on the back lines. The tower goes down. It is going to end up being denied by Black. So nicely played by him, but looks like his Bear is going to end up paying the price. Ferrari picking up the last hit. So LGD, they were the ones looking for that initiation, but I think a well-used buyback from YYF and some good aggression from IG. They bust in, they get a bunch of kills, they get the tier 1, and now they're looking towards the tier 2 as well.
It's also because, like, a lot of it was because of how effective the Timbersaw is against those LGD heroes. He was just
Radiant's
he was just
middle
able to
tower
deal
has
so much damage towards the LGD lineup because they have 2 strength heroes, and he kills them so quickly that he can move after killing those 2 and kill the rest so quickly. It was just like so much damage. He basically did the most damage in that fight among all the players.
Yeah, I would not doubt that for a second. Ferrari just jumped straight in, got a bunch of kills, jumped out. He's still fine. He's got a mech picked up for Misery here, so I think realizing that LGD.int are maybe 1 or 2 team fights away from losing a lane of Rax, and if not a lane of Rax, the game. IG just heading into Roshan right now. Black is still continuing to farm up, but doesn't really have much to his name right now, and he doesn't even have a Bear right now, which is probably carrying his Midas. So hopefully
Yeah.
that's on cooldown at the moment.
That's true. The bear was holding his Midas.
Alright, so Roshan goes down. Aegis is going to be picked up by How. He's just working his way towards an Aghanim Scepter, it seems like, right now. Yeah, the bear did have the Midas, so Black finally gets that back.
This is looking really, really bad for LGD. Like, the 2 Midas doesn't seem like it's gonna be enough against IG. Like, IG still has a really potent farming lineup. The Prophet and
they
Timbersaw
jump in
can
on
farm.
top of Faith. Mid lane, the Cogs is on 2. C2I is already here. Ferrari, will he be able to escape? He gets out of the Cogs. He's fairly low. He's got the fresh Bloodstone Suicide. If he feels that he's really in trouble, he gets pulled out of the Timber Chain. I think he might have got stunned there. He's still on the run, but he's just going to end up committing suicide as that stun flies in.
And he had to, there was no other option for him. He was gonna die regardless. I think the battery assault might have interrupted it all. I didn't really see if the Timber Chain was actually too short or the battery assault cancelled it.
It is a max Timber Chain, so I get the feeling it might have been the battery assault. And then he immediately got entangled afterwards as well. IG making the best of a bad situation are just going to go for this tier 2 tower on top lane, but there's an Alchemist coming in with a stun, and there's some TP support. Banana goes for the split earth, tries to force staff himself back to safety, but he's dead for sure. Hao is trying to escape, he's going to go for the TP. Can they arrow him? Yes! They catch him, and IG getting a little bit too greedy there. They will throw some damage down to CTY, but this is going to be the Aegis popped as well. YYF trying to get into this fight. The Moonlight Shadow is going to be popped. They're focusing on how they've got the stun. He gets Force Staffed out. Can they sprout enough to get him back to safety? Nicely played by YYF. Great coordination of Ferraris here in a confined space with so many trees. Can he track down anybody else? Ends up whiffing the Timber Chain. CTY is on the run. They've got a Sentry Ward down here. They've also got the Urn Charge ticking away. The Prophet Ultimate, you can hear it rumbling. And he's going to get finished off by Ferrari. Freedom has managed to juke into the trees, and he's getting pinged by Banana, but looks like they've got bigger things to deal with. Brax lands an arrow mid lane, is going to be able to kill off Hao. The dive from IG is just never ending. Ferrari finds another tree. He's got a little bit of mana left, but looks like he's going to finally call off the dive. Freedom finds Faith a little bit further back, actually manages to pick up that kill, but looks like he's not going to win this man fight against Ferrari, though. He'll still be able to escape. So, super chaotic team fight. I think Rubik managed to steal Moonlight Shadow in the midst of all of that. YYF is finally going to come back and pick up the tower, but LGD.int, that's it. No more outer towers left. Can they hold the high ground?
It's still really, really good for IG, even though they overextended to try and get the kill on Black. But still, there was so much space and so much farm game by the rest of the players. Like, the Viper doesn't seem like he's the position 1, like, at this point. The Timbersaw and Prophet, like, it's like the more farm heroes and doing a lot more than the Viper. The Viper is like, he got downgraded to a position 3 hero.
Yeah, he is the third most farmed at the moment. Brax is kind of trading spots with him a little bit. And he's actually got a fair chunk of gold up. He's finished up his treads, he's finished up his drum, but there's no really big ticket items yet. He's just been buying sort of cheap items here and there. There's a TP threatened by YYF, but I think he just used the Midas to cancel the Boots of Travel.
It was not YYF,
Ferrari.
it was Ferrari's Boots of Travel.
Yeah, but then YYF also tried to TP behind him, but realized that Ferrari wasn't actually going to get there, so yeah, just ended up canceling. But so IG lost the Aegis, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like it was a particularly big deal. The Lone Druid is still really trying to farm up to whatever he can, but Black has only got 1.7k up right now. So Radiant is kind of a far-off dream at the moment, and IG are going to start knocking on their door.
Yeah, the Radiance is never going to come before this fight. The next fight is going to be really, really soon. Like, YYF is with his Necrobook 3, so this is going to be a very prime time for IG to push in.
Yeah, and LGD.int, they're all here. They're going to throw out some stuns. They're going to do their best, but Freedom needs to be careful. Ferrari chases into the base. He had one tree left over here from that chase earlier on.
Just one combination plus the Prophet ulti takes out the Alchemist.
And now Arrow's going to fly in, but IG should be able to dodge out of the way of that. And LGD.int, base has been broken. Black is still just sitting up on top lane farming as their melee racks falls. He's going to be TPing in now, but LGD, he just immediately gets lifted. He's going to get hit by the Viper Strike, gets stunned up. CTY jumps in with the hook, manages to cog in too, but YYF and Banana almost immediately force that out. Black's gone. Cogs are going to bounce YYF around a little bit further. Ferrari chasing in, but melee barracks are down. IG just deciding if they're going to be greedy and stick around for the ranged. And looks like they are actually going to end up doing so. Freedom comes in, gets the stun on Ferrari, but it actually gets turned around. Stolen by Faith. Freedom gets stunned. CTY, trapped inside of his own cogs, will be brought down before he can even do anything. The Chain Frost gets a single bounce, then it immediately gets stolen by Faith, who turns it around right in the face of Freedom. The Chain Frost must be much better Chain Frost there. Ferrari is going to end up going down, but only a 5-second respawn for him. So, IG, get in, get the lane of Rex, get out. They got another kill on Black, and at this point it's looking nigh on impossible for LGD to make their way back here.
There's a good chance that even before the game ends, like Black wouldn't even get his variants.
Yeah, I think even if they just stall this out as long as they possibly can, and he goes and AFK farms in, say, the Dire jungle and just hides there, I don't know if he's going to be able to finish it.
If he AFK farms, his team will never be able to take a fight. So
yeah,
maybe it's better for him to transition out of the Raidens at the moment, like get a Maelstrom, because he's
nicely done by Brax.
Yeah, that arrow.
Another put down.
Yeah, really solid. Spotted Faith. He used the leap, however, so now he's kind of stuck. Doesn't have a TP scroll either. He's gonna pop the drum charge and try and escape. A little bit of body blocking from Banana and a really nice stun as well.
1 more second.
Did he almost have the leap up? Oh, and they've managed to spot CTY as well. What was he doing in the neighborhood? Banana threatening the split. Earth manages to get it. CTY, nothing to hookshot to. Misery was trying to give him a target, but not able to escape. So, IG, 2 pickoffs. Do we have any buybacks for the Radiant? There is one up on Brax, but he would really rather not use it.
Buying back now mostly means that they are just gonna be able to not be able to come back later on. Like if they have to win the fight if he buys back now. If he buys back and they IG just run back or still wins the fight, it's basically over for LGD.
IG up onto the high ground. They've got the Necro Book, they've got the Edict. Burning Weight this 2-3. LGD will be able to hold for a little bit longer. Concoction's being charged up. Freedom runs in, throwing as much damage down on Ferrari as he possibly can. And actually ends up eating quite a bit there. Tier 3 still alive. But looks like IG just gonna back off, heal up the Timber, they pop the mech, and ready for another round in just a moment. But we do have the Murano respawn now.
Yeah, they can buy a lot of time still, but eventually they still have to take a fight. Like when they start hitting the Rex.
Arrow flies in, only gonna hit the Necrobook. Ferrari deciding that he wants to go full man mode, jumps back out of the cogs from CTY. Melee barracks still going down, Chain Frost flies in, can it bounce around enough? Gets a couple of good bounces, back to How, back to Ferrari, back to How, over to Faith, over to YYF, over to Faith, over to Banana. But Misery deciding that they can't hold this, the GG's being called, the fight's gonna continue, but there we go. That's gonna be a 25-minute GG from LGD.int.
They seem to be missing pie cut a lot. Like there was really not much synergy between CTY and the 4 of the other players.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I would say is that Pycat is often on your sort of, game controlling mid. Well, we sometimes see Brax farming and Black is farming, and in those cases, it's typically not Pycat farming as well. But I don't know, it felt way too farmy for LGD here. They bought 2 Midas, they kind of sat around, lost some team fights, and that was kind of game.
Yeah, and Timbersaw and Prophet is just basically raping the whole team over. Like from the fights, from the split push, they were just taking control of the game in every department. So it was so difficult for Black. He didn't even get a Maelstrom, he got a offering in the end.
Yeah, just decided that he had to buy something. Yeah, and just went for the Vlads. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up for game 1. Oh, yeah.
I still think like the Maelstrom is still gonna give him more.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go for the Maelstrom, you can't turn things around and win, but at least you have a better chance in the team fight. And maybe if IG dive too aggressively or something, you can get your way back. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up for game 1. Game 2 is coming up next. It is still a full best of 3, so LGD.int do have a chance to bounce back and take us out to a 3rd and final game. I've been Baseskip here on the Beyond the Summit stream. It's been great casting for you so far this evening, and I hope to join me for the next game. Joining me, of course, was Winter, but Winter, I'm assuming you're going to be back for the next one?
Yeah, I'm going to be back.
Nice. So we'll hold shoutouts until the very end, but thank you guys. Hope to see you for the next game.